Imagine making over $100 million and then ending up broke. No, it's not a movie plot. This is the reality for some of the biggest stars in the NBA. Players who once signed massive contracts, had sneaker deals, endorsement money, and were living like kings, only to end up filing for bankruptcy or struggling to pay bills. It's a shocking truth most fans don't see. But behind the glitz and glamour of the NBA lifestyle lies a harsh financial reality. How does this even happen? How do players who earn more in a year than most people do in a lifetime end up with nothing? Let's start with the most common mistake: living way beyond their means. The moment that first NBA paycheck hits, a lot of players start spending like the money will never stop coming. Fancy cars, giant mansions, expensive jewelry, and wild parties. For some, it's not just one car, it's 5, not one house, but a mansion in every city they play in. And while the money is coming in fast, they don't realize how quickly it can go out. The lifestyle gets bigger with every contract. But what they forget is that an NBA career doesn't last forever. The average NBA player retires before they even turn 35. And once the checks stop coming, that lifestyle becomes impossible to maintain. Then there's the entourage. When a player makes it big, suddenly everyone wants to be part of the ride. Friends, family, hangers-on. And a lot of these people expect the player to take care of them. Some players support dozens of people at once. They're paying for cousins' rent, friends' cars, old high school buddies' businesses, and it's hard to say no. These are the people who were with them before the fame. But what starts as generosity turns into a financial burden. And before they know it, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars every month just supporting other people. Let's talk about bad investments, because here's where a lot of the money really disappears. Players are constantly approached with business ideas, restaurants, nightclubs, tech startups, clothing lines, and without proper financial education, many of them say yes without doing the homework. Some are pressured by friends into investing in shady businesses. Others try to create their own brands without understanding how business really works. The results are often disastrous. Millions of dollars can be lost in a single bad investment. And because they're trying to multiply their money quickly, they sometimes fall for scams too. One wrong move, and it's gone. One of the most infamous examples is Antoine Walker. He made over $108 million during his NBA career. He had a huge contract, endorsement deals, and was living the high life. He bought multiple homes, over a dozen luxury cars, gave away millions to friends and family, and made a string of bad real estate investments. Within 2 years of retiring, he filed for bankruptcy. All that money? Gone. Walker later admitted that he simply didn't understand money. He thought the income would last forever. He learned the hard way that it doesn't. Another name that comes up often is Allen Iverson, one of the most iconic players of his generation. Iverson made over $150 million just from his NBA contracts, plus even more from Reebok and other sponsors. But his spending was out of control. He reportedly traveled with a 50-person entourage. He was dropping 6 figures at casinos, buying ridiculous amounts of jewelry, and supporting multiple households. At one point, he couldn't even afford a cheeseburger at the airport. Luckily, Reebok had set aside a $32 million trust fund for him, but he couldn't touch it until he turned 55. That trust fund may have saved him from total ruin. But it's not just the flashy spending. Sometimes it's the quiet leaks that do the damage. Things like unpaid taxes, hidden fees, or shady financial advisors. Some players hand over full control of their money to accountants or managers they barely know. And some of those people take advantage of the trust. Over time, small thefts add up. Others simply don't file taxes properly. And when the IRS comes knocking, it's often too late. There are stories of players owing millions in back taxes because someone else messed up, or worse, stole from them. Divorces and child support can also take a huge toll. NBA players live high-stress lives. They're on the road constantly, under pressure from fans, media, and teams. Personal relationships often suffer. When a player gets divorced or has kids outside of marriage, the financial consequences can be brutal. Alimony and child support payments can reach tens of thousands of dollars a month. And that's not easy to sustain when the career is over and the income drops. What seemed manageable while earning NBA money becomes a crushing weight afterward. You might be thinking, why don't they hire someone to help manage all of this? Some do, but even then, it's not always the right person. Financial literacy is a huge problem. Many players go from high school or college straight into the league with no real understanding of how money works. They've never budgeted, never paid bills, never planned for taxes or retirement. And when millions start flowing in, it's overwhelming. They trust the wrong people or they don't ask the right questions. By the time they realize something is wrong, it's too late. Now, not all players go broke. In fact, more and more are getting smarter about their money. LeBron James, for example, built a business empire off the court, investing in production companies, fitness brands, and more. Stephen Curry shared his own media company and has equity in several startups. Kevin Durant became a savvy tech investor. These players surround themselves with good advisors, stay involved in their finances, and treat their careers like a business. That mindset makes all the difference. So, how can you avoid the same mistakes, even if you're not an NBA player? The lessons here apply to anyone who comes into money quickly. First, understand that income is not wealth. Just because you're earning a lot doesn't mean you're financially secure. Wealth comes from what you keep, not what you spend. Second, don't spend like the money will never stop. Life is unpredictable. Jobs end, industries change, emergencies happen. Live below your means and build a safety net. Third, be careful who you trust with your money. Just because someone seems experienced doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. Ask questions, stay involved, and don't hand over full control. Fourth, avoid investing in things you don't understand. If someone pitches a business idea and it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Learn the basics of investing before jumping in. Real wealth is built slowly, not overnight. Fifth, think long term. What will your finances look like 10, 20, or 30 years from now? Plan for retirement, save consistently, and finally, get educated. Read books, take financial courses, talk to professionals. The more you learn, the better decisions you'll make. NBA stars go broke not because they're bad people, but because they were never taught how to handle money. They come from tough backgrounds, are thrown into sudden wealth, and are surrounded by temptation. It's a system that sets them up to fail unless they take control early. But the good news? It's possible to turn things around. Antoine now works with young athletes to help them avoid the mistakes he made. Iverson has made peace with his situation and is living more modestly now. And the next generation of stars is learning from their stories. At the end of the day, money doesn't last forever if you don't respect it. Whether you're an NBA player or just someone who got a big promotion or inheritance, the same rules apply. Spend wisely, save consistently, plan for the future. And remember, financial success isn't about how much you make. It's about how well you manage what you have. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be diving deeper into real financial stories and lessons that can help you take control of your money and avoid the traps that even millionaires fall into. Thanks for watching.